Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News and different networks. I just recently said, we have traveled. We were going to travel. And I came down to the city of Mexico. The circumstance and the reason why I came down here, and let me be just clear, people. Just recently, as you guys know, the president of Mexico has been denying consistently that she wants the American authorities to come in here and to take care of the cartels, which, we have been consistently saying why she's protecting them, why she doesn't want any help, why she doesn't want to collaborate, why does she don't, call them terrorists, and all this other particular situations, right? And there has been several actions which she has been, basically outlined as a liar. A couple of days ago, one of the most powerful aircrafts carriers in the world, it is called the C-130 Hercules. It is from the United States of America. And the C-130 Hercules entered Mexico, landing in the airport of Toluca. Toluca is like around an hour from the city of Mexico. As we saw this video of this aircraft entering our country of Mexico, we said, like, what is going on? Are we going to see a Venezuela in here? And we were concerned. Why? The population is concerned. Who's in charge of the country? Who's in charge of the security of the country? It is embarrassing. It is shameful that we have to rely on consistently on the United States of America saying, you're not doing the job. I'm going in there. And consistently threatening, if you don't do this, I'm going to, go on the ground and do a strike. And this is because of the exacerbated extraction of information of infiltrated CIA agents, DEA agents in the ground with where the fractions of the fight and the war is, Culiacan, Michoacan, Guerrero. And the C-130 came in, right? This aircraft, just for everybody to understand, the C-130 Hercules, it is an aircraft carrier for war and for natural disasters. It has been used in the Gulf War, in Iraq, and Afghanistan, Vietnam, disasters in Haiti. And just recently, it was used in the extraction of Nicolas Maduro. So when they landed over here, we were like, what is going on? What is going to happen on the ground? It's concerning because now if the U.S. military is involved on the ground, it's a different ballgame. Now they are in our land, in our territory. And now it's time to be clear. It's time to be clear to the population. It's time to be clear to Mexico, to tell the population and to tell Mexico we're collaborating. And they're in here. And you need to trust us. But no, she comes out in a morning conference and says on the next day, they're here for training. And this was approved back in October. You guys shouldn't be worried about. Now, let me tell you something. In our Constitution, there has to be an approval by the Senate if there is an aircraft entering our country. And the Senate needs to approve it if they are, basically wanting this aircraft to enter our hemisphere. She did not care about the Senate. She violated Senate laws. She said it's just an aircraft. It's not carrying military, but it's a military aircraft. Yeah, but it's not carrying military men, so I don't care. And she let them land. A lot of people are going to say, you're against it, Oscar? I'm seeing you're a little upset. It's our country of Mexico. This problem should be handled by our authorities. No American life should be on the line on a problem that is, should be our problem. But more than that, it is the lies. It is the continuous lies of the president and selling this narrative so she can win elections and her political party win elections. That is, we don't want an invasion. We're protecting the sovereignty. We're protecting our land. We're not going to collaborate. We're not going to, collaborate with nobody. We can handle things on our own. And it is to please And it is to basically not only to please, but also to pander to her political party. Guess what? The lies caught up to her. In her morning conference, she said, I don't need approval from the Senate. And, we have been collaborating. That's about it. She didn't explain that much. And why she doesn't explain it? Because I will tell you, people, I'm more than 100% sure that the United States intelligence has so much on the Mexican government that she doesn't have no option but to bend the knee and obey. So who's in charge of basically combating the cartel? Is it Donald Trump? Or is it Claudia Sheinbaum just following orders because of the pressure? Listen to this report that I did. I'm here in the city of Mexico, came down here to do my reporting. And this is the report that we did. It's a report of 2 minutes and some fractions seconds. Listen to our report. I'm located in the city of Mexico. Just a couple of days ago, one of the most important planes of cargo, the C-130 Hercules, arrived to Mexico in the airport of Toluca. On the next day, in the morning conference, the president was asked, what is going on with this airplane? It's a military airplane. What is it doing over here in Mexico? She said, it is only for cooperation. She lied.
However, opposition lawmakers have commented that the Senate wasn't consulted on this matter. Yes, no, there was no need for consultation. No U.S. troops were involved whatsoever. This authorization was granted back in October last year and was related to training purposes.
What happened? The United States government has pressured so much the government of Mexico that now they are willing to do whatever the government of the United States of America it is telling them. The corruption in Mexico on every level, with every politician been exposed to the world. More than 50 politicians have been exposed that they are linked to the organized crime and the cartel. So what is the C-130 Hercules doing in Mexico? Precisely for a cooperation. They were coming for 37 criminals linked specifically to drug cartels, leaders of high-impact criminal cells. It is that the Trump administration has so much information, has so much intel, that they are willing to pressure and to say, if you don't let me in to combat the organized crime and the cartels on the ground, you need to give me some proof that you're doing something. And this that just happened, 37 high-impact criminals were loaded into the Hercules C-130 to be transported into the United States of America so they can be held accountable for justice for trafficking and other criminal accusations by the Department of Treasury and the United States government. Nobody in history of the United States of America has done this, has pressured so much the government of Mexico that they need to clean up their mess in their own country, but most importantly, exposing the level of corruption and pressuring Mexico to deliver high-impact criminals, leaders of the organized crime and the cartel. Undeniably, it is clear now than day that the president of Mexico, it is lying to the Mexican people. It is more than clear. Claudia Sheinbaum, it is not only protecting the cartels, but bending the knee because the United States government knows that there is more than 100% corruption on the 3 levels of government, is protecting her own political figures in her government. So that was our report. It's as a Mexican, I can tell you, it is really preoccupying to see this. And I'm not saying preoccupying of the military of the United States entering Mexico. That's not my preoccupation. My preoccupation is who's in charge of the country? Who's in charge of the security of the Mexicans? Who's in charge of the detention of these people? And all the intelligence, it is in the United States of America, which tells you that this government is not even trustworthy on stopping these criminals, detaining these criminals, extracting information of these criminals, and going after these criminal cells, because the level of corruption in police and law enforcement and in the Justice Department and the ministerial police, it is extremely critically corrupted. So it's preoccupying. It's really preoccupying to see the leader of our nation the she's a far leftist, be so weak and ultimately bend the knee this bad? And it looks bad on our country. It looks bad on Mexicans. It looks bad on how we are not even potentially standing and saying this is the sovereign nation, and we can cooperate, but this is how we're going to handle it. This is how we are going to handle it. We're going to deliver you these cartel members, but we are going to deliver them into your country, and there's no need for foreign military to come in. The only need for foreign military to come in is because you don't have the capacity to do the job. And ladies and gentlemen, as we see it right now, the Mexican government doesn't have the capacity, and they need help, and we need help. And this is actually, in a way, I can tell you, in my way of things, I can look at it two ways. One, it's good. We're eradicating criminal cells. And, we are potentially, more than likely eliminating, people that they are extremely dangerous, and now they are in custody of the United States. But this is a problem. When you eliminate or you extract these kind of people, there is a possible war coming up, and it's a fight of power. These people, the majority of these people had a lot of power in terms to, the decisions of different criminal cells and criminal organizations. And now you're going to see a fight of power in several different sections in the country of Mexico, which is a huge red flag for the authority of Mexico to maintain control and maintain the safety of Mexicans. It is quite challenging what is going to happen, but it's extremely disappointing to see this, to see, okay, a military plane is landing in Mexico. Go ahead. You already explained to us what is going on. You already explained to us that they're coming and they're participating and you're cooperating with them because we don't have the capacity to fix this problem alone. So it's okay. Let's do it. I support the United States. If they want to come and they want to cooperate, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it together. But you stand in the morning conference after you get embarrassed and you lie to the whole public and you lie to the whole country. And most importantly, you lie to your fan base, to your political party, to your senators, to your mayors, to your governors that are representing your political party. The government of Mexico at this point in juncture, it looks weak. It looks bad. It looks like they don't have no control whatsoever of absolutely nothing. They don't have control of security. They don't have control of who is in charge of the country. It looks like Trump is in charge of the country. It looks like Trump is in charge of the security. And it looks like Trump is the one that is, every time that he pressures, the Mexican government bends the knee and it says, yes, sir. And it's sad because it is, ¿y cuál es tu opinión? Te la estoy dando. No creo que si no sabes hablar inglés, perdóname, pero te la estoy dando la opinión. Te estoy dando mi opinión. And it is sad, I believe so. And the reason why I think it is sad, because we should have the capacity to take care of this problem. And our president doesn't have the capacity. We have our Marines, we have our Army, we have our Navy SEALs, we have our Navy. We have capacity. The only thing is that it is full with corruption. And when you have a government that is full with corruption, your government doesn't even rely on your own people to handle the problem. It's difficult. It's hard. It's hard and it's disappointing. These 37 high impact criminals, really dangerous high impact criminals, people that they are, extremely, wanted in Mexico and also in the United States. It's really it's really important that we know what was the whole point of this extraction. And what was the whole point of this situation that just recently happened? And I truly believe that, all of these 37 individuals who were basically extracted and taken over right now, to the United States of America, it is a huge step. We're going on almost 90 or 90 plus, extractions of individuals into the United States of America. And these extractions are, you know, is causing an impact, and it is knowing the difference. But the lies, it is what it is really. I was in an X space right now with old Mexican people, and there were some experts in there of security. And we all agree it is embarrassing and it is disappointing. And it is, in certain ways, it is disappointing. Why? Because um, we should be able to handle this problem on our own. Uh, and, this is not doing it correctly, not doing it right. And now you have a way to, throw the fish and pull. It is the level of intel and the level of extraction of information that the United States of America has. Why? Because they have, El Chapo Guzman, they have El Mayo Zambada, and they are basically opening up their mouth about our sovereignty, and it's okay. You're extracting information about how these criminal and how these terrorists, they were operating in the, to get drugs into the United States. But, particularly it affects Mexico because now you have the legitimacy to basically say, you know what, if you don't let me in, I'll go in. I'll do whatever it takes to go in. And that is the problem with Mexico. Mexico doesn't have right now a protection which they can say, no, we don't need you. I can handle it on my own. I have all the information. I have everything that I can handle. I have the capacity to do it on my own, and I can do it on my own. I don't think that I need you. But sadly, because of their level of corruption and how it has grown, the corruption exacerbated since AMLO has grown incredible. These leftists, they're going to say, oh, it's since Peña Nieto, Calderon, and all this. I'm so tired of these people. It has grown so much. And now we're seeing the actual consequence of this, of not having control of the country. She lost the country. The country's out of her hands. And, it is difficult to say who is actually fighting the cartels. And at this particular moment, it looks like the Trump administration is the one that is doing it. There's a question right here. Let me see. Angel Soul says, excuse me. Do you know if the U.S. personnel went out and rounded up the criminals, or were they already? No, they were already in custody. Already in custody. No, where is it? Right here. Says on X, from our vantage point, it has always appeared that she may well be part of, or owned by the cartel. Stay safe down there. Well, I think that she's controlled, and for order for you to have decisions and to make decisions, you got to make decisions on your own, and you cannot show weakness. You're the leader of a country. You're the leader of the country. You cannot show weakness. And at this particular moment, she is showing massive weakness as, you're talking about sovereignty, and she's going back now to morning conferences, making jokes and talking about irrelevant topics like Andres Manuel used to do when the country was getting out of his hands. Now you start making irrelevant comments, and now you're going back to, the World Cup and talking about things that they're not even important at this moment. We're giving out oil to Cuba. That has to end also. The United States is going to pressure us to do that. They already cut and sanctioned the subsidized oil that it was coming out from Venezuela to Cuba. It's already cut. And it's already cut also Venezuela to Russia, Venezuela to Iran, Venezuela to China is being measured. But the only one that is giving oil to Cuba in quantities that you guys don't even imagine. I think that it's more than 30 million a week, or more than 30 million every 3 days. I don't remember. Um, it's Mexico, and the country is not doing great. We're in debt, worse than Enrique Peña Nieto, the past right-wing political president. We are in debt really bad, and she's still giving out, oil, and it is a slave market for doctors in Mexico. And the doctors are, out of their salary, 80% it is going to the Cuban regime, and 20% is going for them. Separation of families, they're using them basically to make money. It's slavery. But it is undeniably one of the things that I believe that it's a domino effect, like I have said. I think that since the extraction of Nicolas Maduro, everything, it was going to change. Excuse me. And we're seeing that it is moving, fast forwarding. It's moving fast. This comment, Indigo Reina says, Trump likes Claudia. He likes her because she's doing what he tells her to do. That's why he likes her. Let me say, I would like to think Mexico could be very grateful to the U.S. The U.S. should also be grateful to Mexico. Goes both ways. We are in an import-export commerce, and the majority of the commerce in your borders are from international crossings. And it's a multi-billion business. If a war broke out in Mexico, they will rely on the U.S. because Mexico doesn't have things we have and need us to protect Mexico. Not necessarily, but yes. We also have our military, and we can defend ourselves, not as the U.S., ultimately, not as the U.S., but undeniably we have also to protect ourselves. Mexico has the second largest population, surpassed only by Brazil and Spanish-speaking people in the Western Hemisphere. In the city that I'm located right now, I'm in the city of Mexico. This city holds more than 32 million people in this city. So imagine, it's incredible, the population here. I think that we are in a point that it's difficult right now what is happening to us. Why? Because now we have always knew this, that we had a gigantic problem with the organized crime. We had a gigantic problem. We already knew this since many years. The problem with this is that we thought that it could be changed, and that one day it was going to end. And we said, it's going to end. Now that it's coming in a way that we think that there's a possibility to control it, and then multiple times, insist to go hard and try to change it and eradicate this problem, it's uncomfortable, because the way that it's being handled, but there's no other way. As to Venezuela, a lot of Venezuelans were upset of the extraction, but they were happy at the same time. They're like, we didn't like it, but that's the only way. We don't like it, but that's the only way. That's the only way to save our country. That's the only way to get this dictator out. That's the only way to remove people. That's the only way to remove these animals. We didn't like it, but this is the only way. So we had to sit down and just watch. And possibly later on, it's going to get better. As we are seeing right now in Mexico, that, a lot of Mexicans are saying, why is this plane in here? Why are we having planes from the United States of America landing in our land? That they're war military planes. And we don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. I personally, I will tell you, I agree to disagree. But if it is to fix the problem, if it is to eliminate the cartel, if it is to eradicate the cartel, I'm all for it. I'm 100%, 1,000% in. The only thing that I'm extremely disappointed is the way that I don't agree with Sheinbaum at all, but never thought that she can lie into this point. And she just lied about the protection of the sovereignty. She just lied about the protection of our country. She just lied about, what is this mission about? She just lied about that they were coming for training. They were not coming for training. They were coming for an extraction of 37 leaders of criminal cells and cartel leaders. There's no information for us. It's exactly possibly to the United States of America, but it's in our country of Mexico. We should be informed. We should be informed of what is actually happening in our country and how we are being notified that this is being done, because everything that is being used, that is out of our Mexican taxpaying money, and we're not being notified at all. Like, we're doing it, shut up, you deal with it and go on with your life. And it's kind of disappointing at this moment. It's kind of disappointing, disappointing to hear a leader out of worry coffers to say, you know what, they're not terrorists, they're criminal cells. And in our Constitution, it doesn't say that we can call them terrorists. Cutting a head is not terrorism. Dismembering a body is not terrorism. And you're looking at these statements coming from the president, and you're like, you have to be kidding me. How is this not terrorism? And all the leftists go to the dictionary and look at terrorism. You have to be really stupid to follow that narrative. It's incredible. It's like saying I cannot go to war with the cartels because it is illegal. When she said that, we were like, who has the control of the country? Somebody needs to intervene. And ultimately, at the end of the day, stop this. Somebody saying, how can you fight drug addiction, for goodness sake? Well, we have to admit, the United States is a bilateral problem, my friend. And the United States is the number one consumer, the number one buyer, the number one distributor, the number one with addiction. So the United States also has a problem, and it's a bilateral problem. If you don't have a buyer, you don't have consume. So we have to understand that. And the artillery and the firearms are coming from Arizona and Texas, the majority. We have to understand that. And the majority of the money that is being sold in the United States, American taxpaying money or American money, dirty money, comes smuggled in vehicles all the way to Mexico. We have to understand that is a reality. With the 37 extracted, how will the cultural this is the same. This is what I was referencing to. Now with the 37 extracted, what is going to happen next? It's difficult. It's it's difficult. And I think that not only difficult, but it is going to be an inner war. And I said this before when all of this happened. I said it's going to come back to inner wars interior between them, and it is actually happening right now. Let me read another comment right here. Trish Coat. Buy me a coffee is right there. I'm traveling, people. Your help, it is much needed. I'm on the road, so I'm here to bring you guys information and bring you guys more of information for you guys. I'll appreciate your help. We're trying to get some equipment, so I will greatly appreciate if you guys can help me. Dearest Oscar, this might sound sexist to some folks. Please don't come at me for my humble opinion. No, absolutely not. No. I don't think women should be in such high positions of power like the president of a country. Híjole. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but until now, we have only seen a few leaders of the president of Italy. She is a female and she's strong. She has more testicles than a lot of the male presidents in the world. But when reference to leftist presidents, that they're female, it is a complete disaster. It is a whole complete disaster. They're not capable. Really, I would like to say that, but it's a man's job. And don't get offended, but you need a lot of character. And the way that it's looking right now in our countries, we don't have a leader. And it's sad. It's sad to see that. Um, Aaron says Claudia is a loud and a horrible leader. Yes, she is. Uh, she's a horrible leader. We don't have a leader right now. That word should be extracted from, deleted from that comment. We don't have a leader, and it's a disaster. The country's a disaster. So we need to understand that the country is going to go through a process that is, for a lot of Mexicans, is difficult to adapt. Is not adaptable for a lot of the Mexicans. They're like, hey, what is going on? Who has the control of the country? Why are we not sending our troops to fight this? What is going on? What the hell is going on? And it is because of the lack of leadership, the lack of initiative, the lack of character, the lack of courage, the lack of a love for your country, the lack of love for your people, the lack of love for the Constitution, the lack of trusting in Mexicans and that you rely on, that they want to fight this, with a war, lack of all of that. And that is who she is at this moment. She's letting the whole country down. And I think that it's a strategy by Trump also. Trump, it is doing these kind of things so the country can grow a pair of testicles. And the conservatives and the right-wing politicians or the independents can grow a pair of testicles and say, you know what, this is embarrassing. A foreign president is doing this to us. We should have character. We should have courage to get up and fight. And we are having that. Actually, Trump has done that because of the level of exposure of these dirty politicians. Lili Tellez, the person that I look up to, my hero, Ricardo Salinas Pliego, other independents. Carlos Manzo got assassinated, a person that I look up to also. They had the courage to fight the organized crime and the cartel, but look, they get assassinated. And it's a huge problem. It's you go against them, people support you, but the government does not support you, and it's like, I'm fighting the cartel, politicians are fighting them, and like, well, I need support. They don't support them. Why? Because it's incredible. They don't receive support from the government. Let me just read some comments. Apologize for my yawning. We woke up today at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and it is over here 12 o'clock at night, and I got to get up tomorrow at 5. I wanted to come in here just to talk to you guys a little bit of what's going on. If Iran can do it, Mexico has to show it up. We have been doing it, but it's difficult over here. We have the cartel. There's a prophet in his YouTube channel. It's called, no, I don't like to read those kind of comments. Globalist one Claudia. Yeah. Well, she's part of the globalist agenda, but she's not even part of it anymore. And she's not even putting attention to it anymore because she's too busy with the disaster that she has in her hands. It's a complete disaster. When she's talking about, we have, I don't even know how many, 8 million people or some 13 million people we have got them out of poverty. If you're getting them out of poverty and you're talking about that number, that means that the gross domestic product, it is going to grow. And your death, it is going to lower immediately, right? Because those people, those 8 million, 10 million, now they are productive. Now they have a job. Now they're paying taxes. Now they are working. You got them out of poverty. So the gross domestic product, the GDP, it is going to grow. And it is not growing. It is completely the opposite. It is getting more in debt. So what you're telling me is that you're giving them free money. That's what you're telling me, that you're getting them on social programs and you're getting the country more in debt just to please the country. So you can tell them, oh, you know what? I got them out of poverty, get the country in debt, and start to expropriate all properties like Chavez did. You have to break the country in two, and then expropriate and have them under control and have them under your hand, and live out of the ideology that is because of the imperialists, it is because of the United States of America, it is because of the white man, it is because of the Yankee. You know, it's unbelievable. Says somebody, Mexican jails don't hold prisoners too well. Look at El Chapo. Oh, and American prisons also. They have. I've seen a lot of people escape from American prisons. You know, so God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. I will put the report again on the video. We'll put the video again for people to watch the report again. And we'll put the report again right here on the page so you guys can see it. And then after that, I will say my goodbyes. Let me get out of the camera, and I will put the report. Go to my Instagram account or X account, and you will see the report there. I don't upload videos anymore on YouTube. It sucks. YouTube has completely shut me down. So here is my report. Buy me a coffee is right there. If people want to help me out, it will be greatly appreciated, please. Let's put our I'm located in the city of Mexico. Just a couple of days ago, one of the most important planes of cargo, the C-130 Hercules, arrived to Mexico in the airport of Toluca. On the next day, in the morning conference, the president was asked, what is going on with this airplane? It's a military airplane. What is it doing over here in Mexico? She said, it is only for cooperation. She lied.
However, opposition lawmakers have commented that the Senate wasn't consulted on this matter. Yes, no, there was no need for consultation. No U.S. troops were involved whatsoever. This authorization was granted back in October last year and was related to training purposes.
What happened? The United States government has pressured so much the government of Mexico that now they are willing to do whatever the government of the United States of America it is telling them. The corruption in Mexico on every level, with every politician been exposed to the world. More than 50 politicians have been exposed that they are linked to the organized crime and the cartel. So what is the C-130 Hercules doing in Mexico? Precisely for a cooperation. They were coming for 37 criminals linked specifically to drug cartels, leaders of high-impact criminal cells. It is that the Trump administration has so much information, has so much intel, that they are willing to pressure and to say, if you don't let me in to combat the organized crime and the cartels on the ground, you need to give me some proof that you're doing something. And this that just happened, 37 high-impact criminals were loaded into the Hercules C-130 to be transported into the United States of America so they can be held accountable for justice for trafficking and other criminal accusations by the Department of Treasury and the United States government. Nobody in history of the United States of America has done this, has pressured so much the government of Mexico that they need to clean up their mess in their own country, but most importantly, exposing the level of corruption and pressuring Mexico to deliver high-impact criminals, leaders of the organized crime and the cartel. Undeniably, it is clear now than day that the president of Mexico, it is lying to the Mexican people. It is more than clear. Clara Sheinbaum, it is not only protecting the cartels, but bending the knee because the United States government knows that there is more than 100% corruption on the three levels of government, is protecting her own political figures in her government. That's our report. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. We're about to call it a night, people. It's 40 minutes going in. I'm a little bit exhausted. I'm a little bit tired. We worked really hard today, so I'm a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie, but tomorrow we have a big day. I will suggest you guys follow our network and also follow RAV Español. RAB Español. We are also in Real America's Voice in Spanish. RAV Español in YouTube. RAV Español in Instagram. RAV Español in X. RAV Español all over the place. We're going to have our own program also in RAV Español. It's going to be interesting and exciting. Go and also follow Real America's Voice News. I will be tomorrow. Tomorrow I have like 2 hits in the network. going to talk about this. You know, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about it specifically. Who were the people that got arrested? The 37 that got arrested. You know, there's one of them that they are extremely dangerous, and you know the information they're going to get is going to be incredible because the levels of sentence that they're going to get is lifetime. They're not playing around. God bless you guys. Stay safe, and like we always say, people, in God's plan, it is our mission.